Johnson non-brothers are in today. How are you guys?
Almost said brothers.
I know. I was thinking about it. But yeah, I look over here and I can definitely, see the non-resemblance.
Yeah, that family resemblance is not coming through.
Not coming through today. So, So you guys are back. Talking about Vibrant You is kind of what you do with us on Wednesdays, and why don't you just hit the road running and see what you can come up with.
Yeah. Thanks, Randy. Welcome to Vibrant You Live. I'm Nathan Johnson.
And I'm Bo Johnson.
And we're here to talk about Vibrant broadband, all things internet, and more. So.
Yeah, and last week we kind of touched on the basic differences between internet services like DSL. You got your cable, your fiber optic, your satellite, and that's kind of a brief overview. And now we just wanted to dive in a little bit more to connection quality and what the difference is between internet and Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so when we talk about internet connection and Wi-Fi connection, those can mean two very different things. A lot of people think that they are the same thing. Well, your internet connection is determined by your internet service provider. Vibrant Broadband is an internet service provider. We talked last week about our service is pretty much all fiber-based, fiber optic, kind of the latest and newest technology. We talked about some of the older technologies like DSL. It's been around for decades, and then cable. It's a little bit newer than that, but then how fiber is kind of the latest and greatest. So we talked a little bit about internet connection last week. This week we're going to focus more on Wi-Fi service, Wi-Fi signal, stuff like that.
Yeah, and the Wi-Fi signal has become the common way of getting everything in your house connected. It used to be a little bit different. You used to have a wired connection to your computer, your laptop. So a lot of people had to physically wire the entire house, and the rooms that you wanted your devices in had to have some sort of cable connection. That physical plug-in is no longer as commonplace nowadays. It still happens, but typically what you'll see is everything connected wirelessly.
Yeah, I mean, most devices we're using cell phones, computers, tablets, TVs, thinking these days refrigerators, microwaves,
light bulbs.
Yeah, everything is just wirelessly connected to your internet. So for that, we're talking about Wi-Fi, which is you get that from your a device in your house, typically a Wi-Fi router. So the internet connection I mentioned comes from your internet provider. That comes from their service to your home, and then that feeds your device, your wireless router. And wireless routers are great, but you can have the best internet in the world. You can have fiber optic from Vibrant, which is the latest technology, the best service. But if your Wi-Fi router has limitations as far as the distance it can reach in your house and the devices you can connect to it, well, then you may have other issues besides just your internet connection.
Yeah, and the need for having Wi-Fi throughout the house is relatively new. I mean, we used to have just your main living room is kind of where you needed your internet, or maybe it was your office. Now it's your attic, your basement, kids' rooms. It's something that you want not just your living room, but it's your entire house connected, and that's something that requires taking a look at your router and making sure that it's capable of getting the connection where you need it.
Yeah, I mean, I like to tell people, as an analogy, it's like buying the nicest, fastest, most, incredible car, but then you only have 100 feet to drive it on. If you're limited with your range and your distance, then there's really not a lot you can do with it. With Wi-Fi these days, people need it. They have a doorbell camera that's popular now, or cameras outside, or a lot of garage door openers you can control. But so that means you need signal to those devices, which are typically outside your home. So it's a little bit harder to reach those areas.
Yeah, and what having the necessary Wi-Fi range does, like Nathan had mentioned, that road, those bridges go down, and you can start driving that car a lot longer distance. That gets your house connected, typically where you didn't have a connection before. So people that want to use outside security cameras or want to work from home at their offices way upstairs in their attic, that's going to be something that you can do. But you do need to take a look at your router, take a look at your setup, and make sure that it's going to function. So the one thing that we always take a look at is lifespan of a router. You may have one that works for you, that has been working for you, but typical lifespan is about 3 to 5 years of technology. Just it does wear out over time, and so that's one of the main things we always check with people is how old is that router? How long have you had it? How is it performing? That is kind of the first step in troubleshooting to make sure you're getting Wi-Fi in the places that you need it.
Yeah, then there's with any technology technology. There's updates happening all the time, newer capabilities. You know, a Wi-Fi router that is 3, 4, 5 plus years old wasn't made to do what we're asking it to do nowadays. You know, when we have 3, 4, 5 TVs that are trying to use, we have cell phones, we have smartwatches, we have all these devices. You know, back in the day, we pretty much had a computer, maybe a cell phone. Now everybody's got 3, 4, 5, 10 devices each person. So we're asking more of that equipment than we ever did. So that's one reason, you may need to get a newer Wi-Fi router.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the devices that we have are just much more capable than they used to be. So without a good Wi-Fi connection, you're really limited on the performance of that internet. So we always check with people and see, hey, is your video, is your audio buffering? Is it doing that close to your router? Is it doing that further away? That's one way for us to check that signal and see kind of where the problem lies. And that's something that we always recommend when you're having issues. You want to check on that. Is it your internet or is it your Wi-Fi?
Yeah, we get questions. We get people say, okay, it works great in my living room. We have no problems. When I go and watch the TV in the bedroom, though, I'm having more issues. Well, that could be it's further away. It's going through a couple more walls. Could be causing problems. Similar if you have a camera on one side of the house. Oh, yeah, that camera quality is great. I have no issues. My camera on the other side of the house, I have tons of issues. Well, it just could be a distance thing. It's probably not the internet coming to the home because that should be affecting all the devices. If some devices are working in some areas and some devices aren't working in other areas, then there's something more going on. So, and the good news is that there is, a way to solve the problem. I mean, if you have weak Wi-Fi signal, there are a few different things you can do. I mean, these days they make really high-powered Wi-Fi routers. You may see some of them you can buy. They have 3 or 4 or 5 physical antennas outside of them that are made to blast signal further and further out. They also have Wi-Fi extenders. You can kind of pick up a Wi-Fi extender. The price varies. The results of those kind of are varied too, because what that's doing is you're plugging in a separate device that's supposed to grab a signal from your main router and extend it further out. Well, if it's not a mesh unit, then every time you go from one router to the next, your device actually has to drop the connection and pick it up with that new device. So, sometimes if you're watching a video or if you're on a video call with somebody, you'll actually have an interrupted service while it drops the one to go to the other. And that's kind of where mesh comes in.
Yeah, and mesh is the way that everyone gets their Wi-Fi signal throughout the house nowadays. It's more commonplace. The beauty of that is it doesn't have to drop its connection and pick up another connection like your Wi-Fi extender. What mesh does is it links your entire system from your main router to each mesh that you plug in. So all you need is a power source, and you can plug that additional mesh into the office where you're not getting adequate signal, or into a kid's room that's kind of right on the edge of that main router. And what it does is it links that so you have your home network connected through mesh, so you're not going to have any interruption. You won't even notice if you walk with your device from where your main router is into one of those rooms. You're not going to notice it go from the main router to the mesh. It's all going to be a seamless connection, and then that's what we recommend nowadays as kind of the solution to that problem.
Yeah, I have. At my house, I have our router on our main floor, which used to be fine. Well, then I started wanting it more and more in my basement, more and more in our upstairs. So I was able to pick up, a mesh unit for my upstairs, a mesh unit for my downstairs. Now I have Wi-Fi signal everywhere I go in my house. It's all interconnected. If I even go to the porch or the garage, even mowing my lawn, a lot of times it can reach outside the home too. So there's a lot of benefits to getting kind of a mesh Wi-Fi solution to kind of expand your network out. When we talk to people, we always like to give people a heads up, if they're having issues with internet. Like I mentioned, if they say, okay, my TV's working in my living room, but the TV I'm trying to watch upstairs is not really working. I'm having Wi-Fi signals. I'm having that buffering problem. The first thing we always recommend is power cycling that device. A good power off, power on, maybe unplug it, let it power down, plug it back in, let it power up. A lot of technology is solved by simply power cycling the device, because maybe it's just a glitch that needs to be reset.
Yeah, and then we always check with when our tech team is it a distance issue? If you're further away, it's pretty easy to figure out that maybe it's just not getting the adequate signal where you need it. But if it's right next to your router, maybe that's where your TV is. We can maybe determine that TV needs to be updated. Maybe it has a software update that's going to solve the problem. Maybe it's just a little out of date, and it's something that you want to look at updating that piece of technology in your house. A lot of times people forget how old their television is or how old their tablet is, and you could have like an Nathan said, you can have the best internet in the world, but if you're using it on a device that's, quite old and not able to keep up with it, that's kind of where we can diagnose the problem.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, if you have a computer that's 20 years old and is slow to boot up, well, the internet can be faster, with Vibrant or with fiber internet, but that device isn't getting any newer, so that might have its own kind of issues. Certainly, we recommend if you're having, no matter what provider you have, if you have internet issues, contact your internet service provider. If you have Vibrant, let us know. Like I said, we have all kinds of ways to pinpoint the problem and get stuff resolved. We love, troubleshooting and helping people, even if it's something on their end, we can help figure out what the problem is and get it resolved. We don't, nobody wants to have people with issues, so.
Yeah, and I know we've covered quite a bit today. So I mean, if you have additional questions on Wi-Fi extension or mesh, you can email them, or if you have a topic that you're wanting us to touch on, feel free to email those to us at vibrantulive@meeker.coop. So that's Vibrant, the letter U, LIVE at meeker.coop.
Yeah, or give us a call at the Meeker Co-op and Vibrant office here in town. Our phone number 320-693-3231. We're always happy to answer questions. We're not into pressuring people into do stuff that they need or want, but we love answering questions and getting people helped out. So please give us a call. You can also visit our website. We're proud of our website. There's a lot of great information on there. Q&As. We post. I think we're going to post the radio episodes on there. There's just a lot of great information for people that are learning and want to learn more and more. So our website is vibrantbroadband.com. We also have a Dreaming of Streaming Vibrant U event. So the Vibrant U events are free to the public. You don't have to register ahead of time. You don't have to be a customer of Vibrant or a member of Meeker Cooperative. We're going to have this one in our Meeker Co-op office right on Highway 12. It's going to be on Wednesday, November 30th at 5:30, from 5:30 to 6:30. And that one's going to be focused on teaching people how to stream, video on TV, how to use that service. We'll have a couple TVs set up with some hands-on demonstration. Those have been very popular. And if you want to know more about streaming, or you think but there's some stuff you would like to know more about, please come. It's a free event. We love helping people out.
Yeah, I mean, bring a friend. We love answering any questions that you have. And, if you wanted to take a listen to our radio show here, you can follow us on Facebook. We do post these episodes the day after, and so you can catch up on anything you missed on our Facebook page. Just type in Vibrant, and you can find us there.
Yeah, and we'd like to thank KLFD for having us on again. Vibrant U Live every Wednesday at 10:30. My name is Nathan.
My name is Bo, and we're still not brothers, but we thank you for listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Vibrant Broadband. It's
snorting fast.